In the closing parts, doctor, father, doctor, Habibi, that means buddy, Achi, my brother. What's wellness like?
Well,
balance,
good
stuff.
I think wellness is very much a natural state for the human body. It actually, with every heartbeat, seeks its greatest state of aliveness. So I don't care how many hamburgers and French fries you may force into your body, it will still keep trying to clean itself out and try to come to its fullest potential. Because we're genetically encoded, like every organism on the planet, to live life as long as we can and as healthy as we can. So I believe we're genetically encoded to actually live a state of wellness. That's our natural state. What we end up doing in anything, trauma recovery process or counseling or whatever, is trying to take away just the obstacles that are preventing the wellness from being able to really express itself fullest inside of us. So I don't think we're sick people at all. I think we're very well people. We just have to help ourselves resolve the obstacles that are somehow preventing us from accessing our true wellness. What happens beyond that state is if you live in a very healthy state, physically, you're living in a very healthy state emotionally and psychologically, you actually go beyond just being healthy. You become a person who exudes happiness or love, or there's some type of expansion that occurs that makes you not just love you, but you want to extend that to others. To me, that's what humanity and the human community is about. Not that I'm just living healthy for me, but when I live that state deepest, I actually extend that state graciously and gratefully to others. To me, that's what we're designed to be as a human species on the planet. An extension of the self, not just a healthy living organism. And I believe it is our natural condition to both be healthy and to want to actually extend health. So I believe that's what it is.
Well, that means on the practical level, it is possible that traumatized people, I mean, they've been heavy smokers before, but if they get in balance, they may smoke less. They may eat better.
What I believe happens with people who recover from trauma, in the very recovery process itself, they become more in touch with themselves as a person, and they actually begin to desire love, desire health, desire happiness at a deeper level than they did before. And here's a good example. If you talk to people after a traumatic event, this is, at least in the United States where I was, this was after 9/11, after Hurricane Katrina, and I say to them, what changed in you since that trauma? And oftentimes they'll say, you know, what's really interesting is that since that traumatic event, I love my wife more deeply. I kiss my children. I live life every day more richly, as though it's going to be my last day. Now, why did they end up coming up with something profound and deep like that from a traumatic event? And it's because they were forced to face life and death and choose one. Whereas when we live in a mediocre society all the time, we don't really choose life or death. We live in a mediocre middle. When you're confronted with death and you desperately choose and seek life to try to live from that potentially deathful situation, you actually choose life at a much deeper level and you begin to embrace it much more fully. So I find that traumatized people on this planet, because I've traveled around a great deal, have the potential to bring the rest of us who are living a mediocre life, they have the potential of inviting us into a far richer life than what we normally would go to.
Yeah, this could go on and on. They once asked the Dalai Lama, what was the happiest moment of your life? And right now.
Right, exactly. This moment, yes.
Yeah, and imagine if Nelson Mandela was put in a hypnotic state and amnesia was induced. What would happen? I mean, this guy is...
Right. He's a good example. Nelson Mandela's in prison for 27 years. He comes out, and the first thing he says is, we must have reconciliation. Without that, we will never heal. How could someone who's been in prison 27 years come up with something as profound as reconciliation? to me, there's some way that he processed his pain and his suffering, which he had plenty of, but he used pain and suffering as a way of coming up with something deeply humanly profound, and he changed human consciousness on the planet with just those few words. We must have reconciliation. He shifted the rest of us to think, what really does it mean to be a human being? And it means to extend love and reconciliation. But it was from a man of deep pain that brought us to that level of consciousness.
Just like Bernie Siegel's patients.
Exactly like that.
Doc, are you
So
okay?
pain has this potential of bringing us to a consciousness that we don't seem to go to without being pushed in that direction.
Yeah, I guess we learn most when we're out of balance so that we can enjoy the balance.
Absolutely, right.
Well, that's not a good place to stop because we can't stop, but we have to. It's getting to be bedtime.
Yes, it
Doc,
is.
you have to go tomorrow. And I got to get into this for a second because these are exercises, you see. They don't have to pay the shrink. They don't have to put up with the shrink talking. I'm talking.
Right.
But isn't there a danger people will say, oh, gee, I just buy the DVD and I'm good?
Well, as anything, when you're talking about working with the body, you're talking about working with an organism that takes time to recover. You just don't make it recover quickly. And so the exercises are designed to be done over a period of time so the person begins to become healthier and healthier. They can do it by themselves, but they do it within the integrated stages that the body can process the pain and the release that it has to go through to actually restore itself back to health. So anytime you're dealing with the body, you're dealing with a living organism, and you have to go at its pace rather than the ego's pace.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to learning it and doing it because I know these patients I have and Ola and Susanna, who are our hosts, have been working with groups of women from Middle Eastern countries, and two of my patients will be coming up too who've been
good.
One of them speaks many languages, and they gave her a job as an office worker, and the other one was a judge. It's a strange thing. That I'm looking forward to getting the empowerment and sharing the empowerment.
Great.
Okay.
Perfect.
That was my good night story.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. You're a nice guy. A nice Habibi. And what is this going on here?